Hi, BrenTech here, where tech is made simple. So last month, as I posted, Microsoft announced that it was going to start fixing Windows 11 this year in 2026. And the reason for this is because I think it's safe to say that Windows 11 is the latest in a so-called long line of bad versions of Windows. And my reason for saying this is because just like Windows 8 and Windows Vista, which I do think are two of the most unpopular versions of Windows, just like those two versions of Windows, Windows 11 is pushing the platform forward in new ways. And that's why I think it's been rejected by the vast majority, just like Windows 8 and Windows Vista. Now, my thoughts are taken from an article that has been recently posted by Windows Central regarding Microsoft is wasting its time trying to fix Windows 11, just do Windows 12. I'll leave the article linked because I do agree with a good couple of points that have been made in the article. So I thought I would just share these with you in case you would be interested. Now, if we jump to present day, if Windows 10 is considered good by the majority, Windows 11 then is the latest bad operating system. At this point, Microsoft has committed to fixing Windows 11, but it hasn't announced plans to move to a Windows 12. Now, according to the post, it would be very easy for Microsoft to build these improvements and ship them as Windows 12 next year. But Microsoft clearly doesn't want to do that, even though I think that would be the easiest way of wiping the so-called slate clean and starting fresh with a good version of the operating system. Because as you may well know, we had Windows Vista bad, Windows 7 good, Windows 8 bad, Windows 10 good. So Windows 11 fits into that category. I think it's safe to say as being a so-called bad operating system, for want of a better word. So that's why it would be very easy for Microsoft to build upon these improvements and then ship them as Windows 12 next year. But it does seem that Microsoft doesn't want to do that, because I think that would be the easiest to so-called wipe the slate clean and start fresh with a good version of the operating system. And I think compared to Windows Vista and Windows 8, this time around things are more complicated, because Microsoft can't just wipe the slate clean like it could with previous bad versions. And the reason, I think, is quite simple, because Windows 11, according to StatCounter, and the last time I posted on a StatCounter survey results video, Windows 11 has a lot more market share than Windows 10 and much more than Windows Vista and Windows 8, because Vista and 8 never surpassed their predecessors in usage numbers like Windows 11 has. So that's why I think Microsoft has put the brakes on a little bit in regards to Windows 12, because as I've been posting, since the release of Windows 11, the last 5 years or so, Microsoft has spent the majority of this time trying to get its user base onto the same version of the operating system. And now that it's finally here, Windows 11, because Windows 10 is out of support now, I don't think it wants to throw away that progress with a Windows 12. So if Microsoft were to ship a new version of Windows next year, it would have to start the migration process all over again. So I don't think they're actually going to go down that line. I would suggest at this stage, with the new developments of Windows 11 and fixing Windows 11, I don't think we're going to see Windows 12 next year, but I think we could start hearing the first signs or the first details of a Windows 12 sometime next year, although not confirmed. And I think that if Microsoft did roll out a Windows 12, it would signal to customers that Microsoft is serious about taking Windows seriously again and wiping the so-called slate clean. And it is expected that more people would be willing to adopt a new Windows 12, I think, than sticking with Windows 11. And I do think because of that, that if a Windows 12 was rolled out, that it wouldn't take as long for Windows 12 to become the dominant OS over Windows 11, more so than Windows 11 over Windows 10. So let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree? Don't you agree? Let me know your thoughts. Always interested to hear. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.